Hello everyone, I'm Zhongzai. Today we're back filming, and this time it's the KOVE 450RR Performance Edition. So why this first Performance Edition? Because of all the KOVE 450RRs, it boasts the highest specs, making it the purest and most track-focused. Moreover, this bike is in a fully modified state. But fully modified doesn't mean it's better to ride, especially with these kinds of more aggressive, track-oriented modifications, which often sacrifice a lot of comfort. So today, let's take a look at this KOVE 450RR Performance Edition, which is basically armed to the teeth, and see what it's actually like to ride. First, as usual, let's have a look at the static riding posture on this bike. I'm 1.78 meters and 68 kilos, so I feel it's a little like riding a pocket bike. It's just a really small machine, built on a 250cc frame. Sitting astride it, I feel both my legs can rest completely and relaxedly on the ground, no problem at all. Its seat height isn't actually high for someone of my height. Among the current small displacement sport bikes, this is one of the most aggressive. But compared to liter bikes, and those over 600cc, it's gentler. The foot pegs have been modified to raised rear sets. They're adjusted to the middle setting, so with my leg length, I find it a bit cramped, to be honest. Adjusting them down and back a notch would probably make the ride more comfortable for me. So, this is pretty much my riding posture. It's very aggressive and track-focused. Look, when I tuck in, it feels incredibly racy. Next, let's look at the bike's overall appearance and some of its modification details. As for the appearance, it's very compact, aggressive, and racy. It has the familiar styling of the 450RR. But one difference between the Performance Edition and the current standard versions is its red and white color scheme, which is exclusive to the Performance Edition. Another is its gold inverted front forks, and they are adjustable. The whole thing looks great, especially its top triple clamp, as most of the custom work is here. First, we see a top triple clamp. Its style is a tribute to the R1, hollowed out in the middle. The R1 and R3 look quite similar, but this one is made of CNC aluminium alloy, and it looks very nice. Then there are Chuang handlebars on both sides. And here, you can see a Chuang easy pull clutch lever. It's a foldable easy pull clutch. Over here is also a Chuang lever, but the master cylinder hasn't been modified. The brake calipers are opposed 4-piston ones on both sides. The calibration of the calipers and master cylinder on the original Performance Edition was very aggressive. It's a very aggressive setup that can cause the front to lift under heavy braking. So there's no need to replace this master cylinder at all. If you change it to another brand, it might not have such a strong braking effect. Then there are also many of these titanium alloy bolts. A steering damper has also been added here to improve the bike's high-speed stability, and the bike has also been fitted with domino grips. I don't know if these grips are genuine, and they've also put a wire tie here, very much a boy racer style. Then, over here, he really knows his stuff. He only modified the right-hand side lever guard. For a standard motorcycle like this, you don't need to install a left-hand lever guard. The purpose of a lever guard is to prevent another vehicle from hitting your brake lever when you're overtaking, so you add a guard. The left lever is the clutch, so it doesn't need a guard. Scooters, on the other hand, need them on both sides. A lever guard on the left of a standard or sport bike. That owner definitely knows nothing and is just modding it blindly. Then over here are the raised rear sets I mentioned earlier. Take a look, there are 3 vertical positions and 2 horizontal ones. It's currently set to the rear and in the middle position. If it were moved down 1 notch, it would probably be a bit more comfortable for me to ride. He's also modified this with a reverse shift pattern. Normally, you pull up to upshift and press down to downshift. But with this reverse shift, which is common for the track, you press down to upshift and pull up to downshift. For example, it's currently in neutral. I press down once for second gear, and again for third. Then, I pull up once to return to second, and pull up again to go back into neutral. This is the reverse shift pattern. And after modifying the rear sets and the reverse shift, the feel of the foot controls is excellent, very crisp. It feels very nice to shift. Also, a quick action throttle has been installed here. A quick action throttle shortens your throttle travel, making it easier for you to, snap the throttle open. Up front, it's also been fitted with a taller windscreen, which looks very racy. And then there's this, the rear view mirrors have been removed. This also means you don't have front indicators. And 2 mirror block-off plates have been added here. I don't recommend this modification to anyone, because removing the mirrors and indicators is not only against traffic laws, but it's also very unsafe. This is something I don't recommend you do. But this bike has one major, how should I put it, notable feature. This bike's mileage is a bit high. It's done 44,296 kilometers. It's a high mileage bike, which shows that the previous owner really rode it often and really loved riding it. So why did he sell this bike? Because he wants to upgrade to an 820, a Jiangsu 820. So that guy is a consistent enthusiast of aggressive riding and handling. Then there's the engine of this bike. The engine is under warranty. Because it was an early performance edition, its engine, for reasons everyone knows, was replaced once. This is the newly replaced engine, and it has done about 10,000 kilometers so far. So if you judge it purely by the engine, its mileage isn't particularly high. Right, now let's get this bike on the road. But with the KOVE 450RR, before you ride it, it's recommended to warm up the bike first. This is for the longevity of the engine. Right, remember, if you're a beginner on this bike, always stick to standard mode, don't use performance mode, and absolutely never turn off the ABS. We're keeping the TCS on for safety. I'm not trying to be a pro racer, actually, mode sport. Right, okay. I just want to ask these guys who remove their mirrors, how do you normally ride on the road? I'm really not used to having no mirrors, especially when changing lanes and overtaking. The power delivery feels pretty good. Although you can't compare it to the surging power of those 4-cylinder bikes over 600cc. But you can still say it has a continuous stream of power. However, when you get on and off the throttle, this bike still has a little bit of jerkiness. I think there's a problem with the angle of this taller windscreen. The angle comes to here, pressing on my helmet, pushing my helmet down, and then my head is like this. Unless you're in a full tuck like this, then maybe the angle is right over your head and it passes over. But if you're not in a full tuck position, it's not very comfortable. It will press on your helmet. The airflow will push your head down. There's no problem with this bike's handling. It's very comfortable, very nice. The handling is very stable, this handling. The engine vibration is so minimal, really. It has the linear throttle response of a 4-cylinder bike. And you can feel that the whole chassis of this bike is super true. It's just that the suspension is indeed quite firm. It's set up on the firmer side. It feels quite harsh going over these kinds of bumpy roads. This handlebar, I'd say, is really not comfortable at all. The rear brake is a bit soft. Maybe the mileage is too high. The rear brake probably needs servicing. This rear brake feels a bit soft. The front brake is excellent. It feels very linear and provides great stopping power, thanks to the 2 opposed 4-piston calipers up front. Very nice. It's just that the rear brake needs servicing. The rear brake is soft. Oops, this reverse shift. I've messed it up again. Lastly, let's summarize this KOVE 450 specifically regarding the condition of this used bike. The price is very cheap for this bike, and its engine is a new one with only about 10,000 kilometers on it so far. Overall, the engine's running condition is pretty good. Additionally, all the modifications on the bike are performance-based upgrades. So if you're performance-oriented, If you're getting this KOVE 450RR for its handling and performance, then you won't need to do any more modifications, which saves a lot of money. But if we're talking about the downsides, it's that it has no rear view mirrors. So, after buying the bike, you'll probably have to add a set of mirrors. Another thing is that after being modified, this bike is indeed too aggressive, too track focused. If you're using it for daily commuting, you prefer casual riding, or you're more of a show rider, then this bike might be a bit tiring to ride. So its current positioning is suitable for enthusiasts, for taking it directly to the mountain roads or to the track. Because it's cheap, you won't feel bad about it. And it's already fully modified, so you can just take it and thrash it with no problems at all. Despite the high mileage, this bike has never been crashed or dropped. It has nearly new tires with just 1,000 or 2 kilometers on them, and the engine's in good condition.
So overall, although the mileage is high, it's still a 450RR in relatively good condition.